Hi guys, I'm Missy, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So today is another video in my Declutter series, and this is going to be my eyeshadow palettes from 14 pans all the way up to most likely 16 pan. I don't have the 16 pans out here right now because there's no room for one. But we're going to start with the 14 pans. And then we're going to move on from there. So first up, we have my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. I haven't got to try this yet. I picked this up via Ipsy, I believe it was, and their add-ons. And I want to try it out because I never really got to try out old school Anastasia Beverly Hills. I know this is a very, very neutral-esque palette with some like mauvey pinks, but I want to try it out, see how I feel about the quality compared to like the indie brands and stuff that I use now. So I am going to keep. And I'm going to be honest, there probably will not be very many, if any, probably decluttered from this. So I'm going to give you the same thing I gave with my 9 pan. You know, basically like if I don't declutter anything, then hopefully you just like this as like a collection video. I try to say that kind of in the beginning here for those who are expecting a full-on declutter and don't want to watch it. So I'm just going to say that now. So we'll see. There may be some decluttered, you know, most likely not, but sometimes I get going through these and I'm like, maybe. So we'll see. All right, but moving on, we have my Haunted palette from Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny. You guys know Gourmand Girls is one of my favorite brands. I will not be decluttering from these, but this is the Haunted palette. Keeping. We have the Spooked palette. I love when Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny work together. Some of my favorites. Keeping. We have the Nightshade palette. There is that one. Keeping. We have the Frozen Kiss palette. Love this one. This is one of my favorite color stories they've done. Gorgeous. Keeping. And we have the Silent Night palette. That is this one. Keeping. Do we have the Nueva Vida? I just recently picked this one up. Originally, I really wasn't interested in this because of the color story looked kind of intimidating to me, but then I watched Maddie on here. I'll try to link her channel below. I believe it's like Rainbow something, I don't remember, but I saw some of the looks that she created with it and I fell in love with the looks she created, so then that made me want the palette, so I did pick it up. Keeping. I haven't used it yet because I just got it. And I've been kind of behind on filming looks. This is the Bitten palette. Now this one, I loved the look of. I love this packaging. I think it's gorgeous. I love a good like vampire theme. And then I haven't used it yet. I still have the protectors on the shadows. I love the brands are doing this now to protect the shimmer shades. That's the palette I am keeping. I do need to use this soon. Alright, then we have my Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag. This is the original palette. I do own the new one too that he did. I love the quality of this one still though, so I am going to keep it. Alright, and then we have my Hot Topic Beetlejuice palette. You guys have seen me use this multiple times on my channel, especially during Halloween, because I love to reach for these grungy greens for like a green contour in a spooky look. And I love these like grayish icy green highlighters as well. Normally Hot Topic palettes that I pick up are not great, but this is one of my better ones. This is the one that stayed in my collection that I actually still use quite a bit. I mean, you can kind of see the dips in the pans, even in the purples and things that I've used. So this is definitely staying. Alright, let's move on. I think the rest are my 15 pan palettes. Let me just kind of double check that. Yeah, it looks like it. So we have the Lens and Blend Bunny palette. I just recently got this as well. I did not know who Lens Makeup was before this collab, but I have followed her since, and I love the looks that she creates. This is another one that kind of like intimidates me a bit because it is very rainbow-esque and there's only 2 shimmers in it. But we shall see. I do want to try it out, see how I feel about it. I did get the Cake Liner palette that came with it. That is in my eyeliner drawer because I want to try it out because I've never tried cake liners before. I am keeping that one. And you guys know I love Lunar Beauty. I started using Lunar Beauty, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago now for the first time, and I've quickly fell in love with their palettes and their liquid lips and their lip glosses. I do wish he would bring highlighters back. I know he did do the Moon Shroom, which I did keep, but I do like some single highlighters too. And he had some of the prettiest packaging for that. This is the Strawberry Dream. This is new to me. I haven't used it yet. And again, this is another reason why I'm still kind of keeping a lot of my palettes in my collection because I haven't used quite a few. And I've told you guys a couple times I want to start a new series. As I'm going through these, I'm logging them all in my phone, and I want to start a new series where a spin wheel picks my makeup. I'm not sure when I'll be starting that, but I'm hoping that will allow me to use some more of my items and get a better feel for what I like and don't like, instead of just kind of like looking at them going, oh, they're so pretty, I'm going to keep them because they're pretty. Alright, so then we have the Eternal Eclipse. Love this one. Love the color story of this one. And he released some very, very pretty, like grungy toned lipsticks with this. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm getting that confused with the Siren palette. This one is a gorgeous palette as well. Got your blues and your grays. I'm going to keep. I have my window open today, and it seems like everyone wants to walk their dog today. And I got my kitty cat is over there asleep by the window. This is the Moonspell palette. This is not going anywhere. I mean, this in itself is just gorgeous. This is a display piece, really. And then you have the whole witchy themed names. One thing you guys may or may not know about me, I love a good vampire theme and I love a good witchy theme. They're my favorites. Keeping. Most people to look at me and how I dress wouldn't think I like spooky things, but I do. Alright, so we have my Nomad. This is my favorite fall palette. This is the Hudson Valley palette. And you guys will see when I open it up. It's the perfect color story for fall. Gorgeous. And this packaging, stunning. Keeping. Then we have the Nomad Polar Express. I picked this up because I wanted to do a winter look with it, and then I got procedures done, and then I never got to use it. Well, let me rephrase. I used one shade out of it. This one right here. I used this white shade out of it. But I am going to keep because I do want to get some use out of it. Sometimes my body just decides, nope, you're not doing anything else, and you're not going to do it for weeks on end. And you guys can usually probably tell when that happens because then there's a lot more shorts instead of full videos up on my channel, which benefits me in the long run because right now that's what's most popular, even over here on YouTube. Alright, so then this is an old one. This is the, what's the name of it? The Greek Goddess palette. Apparently the new Moonshroom highlighters he released, he said was very similar to the highlighter palette that he did with this collection, which is good for me because I never got to get the highlighter palette with this. And I even bought this years and years and years after it was released. I got it off of Poshmark, brand new. From someone without a box. But I am keeping because I do want to try it. And then I just got this recently in an ice cream beauty. I think this was a beauty box. And this is Ace Beauté, the Oceanic palette. I did own quite a few Ace Beautés in the past, and I wasn't a fan of their formula. I just recently got their purple palette again, and it was supposed to be the new formula, but I ended up giving that to my sister and decluttering it. Spoiler alert. This one is the blue one, and I've got to look into it. I'm pretty sure this is the new formula as well. If this is the new formula, I think I'm going to keep it so I can try it. But for the time being, I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. Alright. Then we have Moon Slice Beauty. This is their New Moon eyeshadow palette. These were also in the ice cream beauty box. You got a choice between one of the palettes. I think it was between this one. I don't remember which. I know it was the blue one and like a purpley one, I think. I ended up later on getting the other one, and then I paid to get both at the time. But this is what that one looks like. I haven't used this one yet, so I'm going to try it. Yeah, it was definitely, I don't know. Might have been this one that was the other choice. This is the Moonshake. Yeah, because I believe, I don't know, my memory is horrible anymore. Okay, so this is the Moonshake one. I have used this one. I used this in the fall to create a little short tutorial. It is very pretty in the fall. And as you can see, it's got very like lighter tones for every day as well. This side is more your fall tones. Very pretty, keeping. Love the quality. This brand did reshare me. I have had several brands who have reshared my looks on their Instagram stories, which is nice because it's nice to get the recognition for doing the look and supporting the brand. The only thing I will say about this brand shared my video on their actual page, which if they're making money off of it is honestly not cool because I don't make the money off of it. This is the Blue Moon palette. So this is the one I chose for my choice in Ice Cream Beauty. Because you guys can see it's got these beautiful blues and purples, very vibrant. I'm going to keep. So yeah, I'm a big believer in, you know, getting credit for your work and the money that you put into it. And the money for the work that you put into it. So yeah, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but they haven't done it since. So, you know, I'm a big believer in giving someone a second chance. Okay, so this is Beauty Creations. This is the Winter Spice palette. So I reach for this every time in the winter at Christmas time that I want to do a neutral look, which is like a little pop of red or a little pop of green sometimes. And it's good quality. I really like it. I'm going to keep it. All right, let me put those away and I'll be back to go over the rest. All right, so these are more 15 pan palettes. So we have Odin's Eye, the Solmane 2. I got this in a mystery box. I love Odin's Eye formula. Their shimmers are very pretty, but I do always have to make sure I'm using some sort of glitter glue with it because they are very, very glittery and sparkly that I tend to have quite a bit of fallout with it, but I love the way they look. So I'm keeping. Then we have another Gourmand Girls. This is the Warriors Wear Pink palette. This one I'm going to put in the maybe pile. Same with the Gourmandises. Very like pastel sprinkles kind of look. I'm going to put in the maybe pile. Then we have this one from Gourmand Girls. This is the Peach Perfect palette. Love this. Love the tones in this palette. Gorgeous. Keeping. Then we have one of their older palettes that I picked up when she had a sale. It's that time of year. This is a Christmas palette between Debutante, Adventures of Xenia, and The Brutally Honest Beauty. I'll be honest, the only one I really know is Debutante. That I recognize the name for. I will say this is a nice palette, but Gourmand Girls formula has improved a lot since this palette. I do like it though, so I am going to keep it. But I do prefer their formula now more, especially their shimmer formulas. And we have my ColourPop Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Not going anywhere. Love this. And I was so excited that they did the Frosty palette this year, or excuse me, last year. I'm hoping they do even more. A lot of people were like, oh, it's so very neutral. And it is. Like, you've got a lot of neutrals and you've got a red and a green. So I reach for this same as I reach for the Winter Spice from Beauty Creations when I want more neutral looks with just a pop of red or a pop of green. But love this. If you look back on my channel, I did a reindeer look using this palette. Super cute. Love it. Keeping. Then we have my Malibu Barbie ColourPop palette. Now I will say I have the Glam Light Malibu Barbie palette, and I do prefer it over this one. But I do like this one as well. I mean, you get Malibu Barbie vibes from that. But I'm keeping... Then I have my Welcome Foolish Mortals with Haunted Mansion ColourPop palette. I did not get this when they first released it, just because even though I only live about an hour outside of Orlando and Disney World, I really have never been since I moved here. My husband and I went when we were first dating, and that's the only time we ever went. And that was before we even lived in Florida, so it's kind of funny that we haven't been back since. We tried to go once to downtown, well, it was downtown Disney, now it's Disney Springs. We tried to go once there, but as we got on the Disney, as we got into the Disney area, like where you go and park and stuff, we had a girl sideswipe the front of us, so we spent the day dealing with that instead of being able to enjoy the park. And we didn't go to the park at all after that. We just came home because it was just a stressful day. So yeah, we haven't tried to go back since. But this is Welcome Foolish Mortals. I really, really liked this palette. Now, it's not typically something I would reach for because it's a lot of like cooler tones. I tend to lean more towards warmer tones. But I created an eye look with this that was stunning. It was one of my favorite looks I've done. And so I want to play with it some more. So I'm definitely keeping. And I'm telling you guys, my neighborhood is like hopping today. Everyone is out on walks right now. Normally I don't have my window open. Maybe they're like this every day, but I think I've had at least 15 people walk by. This is my ColourPop Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters. This is the first palette they did. Not going anywhere. I will keep this forever. Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies, and I love this color story. I will say I don't really care for the cartoony characters, but love this color story. Keeping. Then we have the third one they did. This is with Hocus Pocus 2. I did like the movie. I mean, I obviously prefer the first movie more, but I did like the second movie. Again, not a fan of the cartoony characters. This is a little cuter than the other one because I think they went more of a glossy, colorful finish. And that's a little hard to show because it's reflective. But this is the other color story that I really like. Very, very fall. Very Halloween. Keeping. I did like the second one they did, which was called The Witching Hour as well. A lot of people kind of hated on that one, but I like all three. And then we have my ColourPop Twilight palette. This one is another one that got kind of a lot of hate. I'm one of the ones who love this palette. I love the theming. You know, it's based on the first movie with the kind of like bluey green filter that's all over the movie. And this is what it looks like. Got Edward and Bella in there in the meadow. Keeping. I have enjoyed the two looks I've created with this. One, I think I did one on camera and one off camera. I do have the New Moon palette as well, and I haven't got a chance to use it yet, but I am keeping. Then we have ColourPop Bratz palette. I have a short up on this. Love the palette, very pretty. Has quite a few of the new glitters in it. I'm not a huge fan of that. There's like 1, 2, 3 of those in there. But I did really enjoy the looks that came out with this. I will say I enjoy the lip kits that came with this. I mean, it's broad, so, you know, they kind of needed to kill it with the lip kits, and I feel like they did. I love all the lip kits that came with this collection. But I do like the palette as well. So, keeping. And we have my Wet n Wild Saved by the Bell. I will be honest, the only reason I really keep my Saved by the Bell or my Wet n Wild palettes is because the theming. Because I've slowly over the years became not really loving Wet n Wild's formulas, simply because I've used much better formulas via ColourPop and via other indie brands and things like that. You know, my ring light's going to reflect, but because it's plastic. I mean, and the packaging is so very cheap. But, you know, they're affordable, so. I love Saved by the Bell. I grew up watching Saved by the Bell, so that is why I'm keeping this. They always get me with nostalgia. If someone else comes out with a better quality, then yeah, this most likely will leave my collection. We'll see. Sometimes I hang on to it still for the nostalgia, but most of the time if I get a better quality palette with better theming and, you know, better, like better accessories and things like that, better formulas, then I usually end up getting rid of the lesser quality one. But for now, I am keeping. Same with this one. This is the Care Bear one. Now I have a Violet Voss Care Bear one, and I did keep it too. I will say I prefer this color story over the Violet Voss one because this one has better shimmers. Especially this shade right here. It's so gorgeous on the lid. I did do a video with this palette. It is a bit of a serious video because at the time Roe v. Wade was being overturned. So I will let you know if that's something that triggers you. You may not want to watch it, but this is the palette. Again, until something comes out that I feel like has done a better job, then I will be keeping this one. I am annoyed though because the oil, like the vitamin C oil, did leak on mine, and when it did, it made this peel. And I tried to put it back on, but as you can see, it's got bubbles on it because it literally is just a plastic sticker on the front. All right, so keeping. All right, let me put those away, and we'll move on to this last one, and then we'll move on to my 16 pans. All right, I am back, and so now we're getting into my Glam Light and my Bella Beauté bar, and you guys know two of my favorite brands. So I have the Glam Light Frosted Flake. This is what it looks like. Keeping. We have the Margarita palette. Very, very spring. Keeping. We have the Wine palette. You guys know, purples. Keeping. Purple is my favorite color. We have the Chocolate Martini. I will say for one that's called the Chocolate Martini, there really needs to be a lot more chocolatey brown shades in this than there is. I'm going to keep. You have the Dirty Martini. I love a good green eye look, and this is a good palette for that. Keeping. Then we have the Fresh Prince 15 color palette. I do like the fact that it has like a fuzzy feeling on his shirt and his hat. I think that was a nice touch. I will say, I know they kept referring to this as a 90s palette, and I will say early 90s. Like I said in my video, very early 90s, because the 80s into the early 90s was very colorful. But when you got into my teenage years, we started the whole like grunge color stories. So yeah, this is that palette. I have heard that if you own the Rick and Morty palette, which I do not, then you really don't need this palette because they're very similar color stories. And it does look like it to me if you look at the pictures side by side. So I don't own the Rick and Morty, so I own this one, which I prefer a smaller palette like this versus a bigger one. If you own the Rick and Morty, can you let me know if it's a better quality than this one though? Because I have kind of heard that from other creators. These are the good Glam Light like squishy shimmers. I like the Glam Light squishy shimmers. I know it doesn't look great once you use them, but I do really like them, so I'm going to keep. Then we have my Camp Crystal Lake palette from the Friday the 13th. I got these when they were on sale, and I haven't had a chance to use this one yet, so I'm keeping. I have the original Ghostface. Scream is one of my favorite movies. This is Ghostface Lives. Gorgeous. Keeping. Now, I did also pick up Ghostface Returns, because a lot of people were upset that there weren't reds in the original Ghostface. So they re-released it and then put some reds in there. And I'll show you kind of side by side. So you can create very different looks with it. I'm going to keep both. Then we have my Chucky Crazy in Love palette. That's what it looks like. Keeping. You guys already know. Strawberry Shortcake. Keeping. I have asked Glamlight more than once if they would do a Rainbow Bright collection, and Giselle herself did message me back once saying that she was working on talking to the people who own Rainbow Bright, and they take a while to get back to her. So I don't know how that's went from there. They have liked any posts that I have said, you know, hopefully we get a Rainbow Bright collection anytime I comment, because I feel like they did a really good job with this, and Strawberry Shortcake has been a really good seller for them, especially the lip kit. So if you guys are fans like me of Strawberry Shortcake, you might want to go over there and let Glamlight know how much you want it as well, and the Rainbow Bright page. Okay, so this is the Halloween 2 palette. I've never seen these movies, just like I've never seen the Jason movies. I've seen all the Scream movies except for the new one. So yeah, I've never seen any of the Halloween movies. But I love this palette. I am going to keep. I did do a look with it on my channel. I think it's a full-length video. It may be one of these that I did where it's like partially full-length and then a short mixed in. because I've done that a couple times now. All right, so now let's get into my Bella Beauté bar. This is Basic Witch. You guys know, witchy theme, love. I mean, look at those purples, look at those greens. Keeping. Bella Beauté bar has some of the most gorgeous shimmers. They are another one that I do have to make sure I'm using a glitter glue with, and let me think. Gourmand Girls Ladybug Glow. And I believe it is Bella Beauté bar. Sometimes where I have hooded lids, their shimmers can tend to crease on me. So that is one thing I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I do have to tap them back out and fix them sometimes. So that's one thing I will say is one negative, but the rest of it's just perfection. I love the packaging. I love the theming. I love the shadows. They're super blendable. But moving on, this is the Recently De-Influenced. I love this. I thought this was pretty funny. The whole vampire theme as an influencer. Very cute Halloween colors. Keeping. Got your fall tones in there too. Then we have Strange and Unusual. I did do a Beetlejuice theme look with this one last year when Beetlejuice 2 came out. Keeping. Love Beetlejuice, anything Beetlejuice theme. I was Lydia 2 Halloweens ago. If you want to see that, I believe I have a photo of it up on my Instagram. Ironically, I didn't use any of my Beetlejuice palettes for that. I used the strawberry palette from Jacqueline Cosmetics. I just recently got this not too long ago. This is Dee Dee's signature in Bella Beauté bar. And this is their ultraviolet palette. And Dee Dee's signature loves purple. So she was after my own heart with this one. I haven't got to use it yet though. I know, shocker. Because I was super excited for this. And purples are like one of the first things I want to reach for. So definitely want to dive into this soon. Keeping. I love the whole like galaxy star look to it too. Very pretty. Then we have the Vamp palette. Again, another vampire theming. This one still has its protection, shadows. Keeping. Then we have this one. This one's new to me as well. This is the Realm of Fairies with Sassy Fairy. Again, another creator that I did not know of until recently due to the collab. And I am following Sassy Fairy over on Instagram. Love her content. Keeping. Again, another one that has the protection shields on it. Now you can see, so this is what I'm talking about with the shades. See how I just barely touched that and it's already kind of like got a crumbly bit to it. This is one I definitely am going to have to use a glitter glue with. But they look stunning on the lid. Keeping. Alright, let me gather all these back up and gather all my 16 pan palettes and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back and we're going to finish off with my 16 pan palettes. So we're going to start here. This is my Singe Beauty Galactic Visitor palette. If you don't know, this brand is owned by Angelica Nyquist here on YouTube. This is her first eyeshadow palette release. So she's very into like space, Aliens, and then she moved to Austin, Texas, so she's into like cowboy stuff, so she wanted to represent both of those interests in her palette, so that is why the cover is what it is, to show her interest. And she also loves like a 70s aesthetic, so the colors very much fit that theming as well. This is the inside. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I am very, very intrigued to use it. That's why I bought it. I do love the layout. She said that she made it a layout like this so it would be easy for beginners, because she has your quads laid out for you. And this is very her, with the warm tones and the blues and the yellow. Very, very much an Angie aesthetic. If you haven't checked out her channel, you really should. She's really good. You have to like colorful makeup though, because that's kind of more her aesthetic. But love how it looks. Keeping. So then sticking with Angelica palettes, these are my Odin's Eye palettes. These are the collabs that she did with Odin's Eye. This is her first one she did with them. This is the Hela palette. Very pinks and greens. Some purple. Very pretty. Keeping. Odin's Eye is another one that I have to make sure I use glitter glues with, because they're very sparkly. This is the second collab she did. She came out with 2 palettes in that collab. This is the Trick or Treat palette. This one is very fall Halloween. Love the color story. Keeping. Then you have the Little Ghost palette. Now this one, I believe she described it as like candy. This one is very different. I don't really see spooky season with this, but that's just my opinion. I mean, maybe these like muted orange shades here. But yeah, out of the 2, I do prefer this one more, but I do like the quality of them. Now the lips, I like the glowy lip and the, I think they're both like a glowy lip. I liked those, but the like moussey texture of the mattes, I did not like those. It felt very dry. I mean, I don't know if maybe that was the formula or it just happened to me, because like when they arrived to me, they looked like they were dried out, and they felt like it when I would put it on my lips. It was very clumpy. The other ones were not like that. It was just a matte one. So I don't know. If you own them, maybe you can tell me if that was just mine arrived messed up or not. But the palettes, I love the quality of the palettes. So this is the Alva Odin's Eye palette. I did get this in a mystery box of theirs, and this is what it looks like. This is their old style. I do want to try it. I do want to compare, like compared to now, because I've heard that they've improved a lot on their formula. So I do want to try it because I never got to try it beforehand. Then I have all of their Christmas releases. This was Silvery Bliss. Sorry, I'm having trouble emphasizing words today for some reason. And this one I love. Very Christmas vibes with this one. Keeping. Then they released the Rosy Jingle. From my understanding, this was supposed to represent like the coquette trend that was going on. This one I would say is more of a spring palette to me. So I'll probably end up using that more this spring than in the Christmas time. I did do a pinky yellow look with it. It turned out very pretty, very gorgeous. But yeah, it wasn't very Christmassy to me. But I am going to keep it for springtime. Then we have Hey Reindeer. These were released the year before, I believe. Love the quality. This shimmer right here is stunning. Keeping. Then we have Snow Dream. That is this one. I get very autumn vibes from this one, except for this like red shade. Even that can be autumn because of the leaves. Keeping. Then we have the Christmas Eve palette. This one and the Merry Christmas palette are my favorites. If I want a blue look, I love this little corner right here and this shimmer and matte down here. Keeping. And we have the Merry Christmas palette. And that's very, very Christmas vibes. Keeping. Okay. Gonna slide these out of my way. Sticking with Christmas, let me show you this one. This is ColourPop Muppets Holidays palette. This one didn't get very much love. They actually put it on sale rather quickly. I will say I wish they had went smaller with it, more like the Frosty and the Rudolph size, because I prefer that size over this size. And this is what it looks like. I mean, I definitely see Muppets in this. Like, I see Gonzo, I see Fozzie, an animal, I see, let me start over. I see Gonzo here, I see Kermit here, I see Miss Piggy and Fonzie here, I see Animal and Beaker here. So yeah, I definitely see Muppets in this. And I mean, I see Christmas with the green and this red shimmer, but that's about it. I do like the quality. I think it's good. Keeping. Alright, so let's quickly go through my BH Cosmetics. I am not getting rid of my BH Cosmetics. I love my BH Cosmetics. This is Barcelona. Or excuse me, this is Beautiful in Barcelona. I do wish that they had mirrors in them though. Keeping. These are old school BH Cosmetics. This is Hanging in Hawaii. I do wish this was a little more colorful since it's a Hawaii palette. But I am keeping. And we have Lost in Los Angeles. Very pastel. Keeping. We have Passion in Paris. Keeping. We have Party in Puerto Rico. I have been to Puerto Rico. I went there when my husband went on husband and I went on a cruise. Very pretty. Keeping. We have Smitten in Switzerland. I love the names. There's that one. Keeping. We have Trending in Tokyo. Now this is a good rainbow palette. I went all over my county searching for some of these palettes when they were going out of business. So then we have Chillin' in Chicago. I heard that this one got re-released under a different name, and I think I own both. I'd have to look it up again to see which one it is, but I do like both. This was my first one in these like travel sets I got because I found it at a Ross for pretty cheap. That's what that one looks like. Keeping. Then we have Summer in Saint-Tropez. That's that one. Keeping. We have Love in London. That's that one. Keeping. And then we have the food collection. This is avocado toast. You guys saw this one talked about quite a bit. Keeping. Then we have blueberry muffin. This is another one that got talked about a lot. Keeping. And we have the mimosa. Keeping. Alright, so these are the last couple, and then we'll revisit my maybe piles. So this is the Beetlejuice X Revolution Beauty or Makeup Revolution. I did a short look with this palette as well. I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of this because you guys have seen over the years, I pretty much declutter every Makeup Revolution palette I've bought. Just because they're kind of a letdown a lot of times with their quality. But this one is pretty decent, so I'm going to keep. Then we have Lotus Love. This is from Bella Cosmetics. I get this from Ice Cream Beauty, I believe. It may have been an Ipsy, but I believe it was Ice Cream Beauty. Pretty, very like nice purple pink Valentine's vibes, spring vibes, but I never reach for it, so I'm going to declutter. Then I just recently got the Eyes on Me palette. This is a collab with Yvette. I have found, even though my very first videos on this channel are Beauty Creations mystery boxes, I found with time I'm not a huge fan of Beauty Creations eyeshadow quality. They have a lot of other things I like, but their eyeshadow quality is not my favorite. They're just way too subtle for me, especially their shimmers. And I always end up giving them to my sister or passing them on to other friends and family members. So for that reason, I'm not even going to dip into this one. It's brand new. And I am going to declutter this one, especially since it's mostly neutral with just pops of pink and yellow. So yeah, I'm going to declutter this one. And then we have my Wicked Widow the Crow. This is staying in my collection forever. I am a huge fan of The Crow, especially the first movie. Brandon Lee was just excellent in this movie. And the quality and the thought that went behind doing this collection is just perfection. These shimmers are stunning. They don't look like much in the pan, but when you get them on the eyes, the shifts, especially in direct sunlight, oh my god, they're so pretty. Some of my favorite shimmers in my collection. Keeping. Alright, so let's go back over my maybe pile here. So we have the Gourmandises from Gourmand Girls. I want to try it out some more, see how I feel about it before I fully declutter. So I am going to keep. Then we have Warriors Wear Pink one from Gourmand Girls. Same. I wanna keep it a little longer and use it a little more before I fully make my decision. So keeping. And the Ace Beauté Oceanic palette. You know, I'm going to declutter this one. I feel like I don't need to keep it. I feel like I've pretty much got these colors in other palettes. And even though I'm very, very tempted to try, if this is the new formula, try it out, I think I would prefer to try it out in a smaller palette. So yeah, I'm going to declutter this one as well. Alright, so I will be back with my totals. I can already tell you right now I kept way more than I decluttered, but I didn't think I was going to declutter any. So I am happy that I decluttered some. So I'll be right back with my totals. Alright guys, I am back and I have my totals. I kept 79 and I decluttered 3. Not a great declutter. Better than I thought I was going to do because I didn't think I was going to declutter any in this video. What can I say? I have a lot of like good quality brands in my collection, so it is very difficult for me to get rid of. And I pay for everything that's in my collection. I do not get PR, at least not yet anyways. Maybe sometime in the future we'll see, you know. But you know, it is a little more difficult when you're paying for the things yourself and you're not getting them for free to just kind of go, I'm going to give it away. But yeah, it pretty much has to be really, really trash quality for me to not like it, or, you know, brand morally reprehensible to me is a big thing anymore. And, or, you know, sometimes a color story just really, really doesn't vibe for me. I'm not saying that about any of the brands I decluttered today, as far as like morally reprehensible or anything like that. It's more of just the color story, just not my cup of tea. But yeah, so yeah, I decluttered 3, and that's this 3 right here: Beauty Creations, Be Bella, and Ace Beauté. So those will get passed along to close family members and friends. Please do not ask me for makeup. I do not give it to my followers. Maybe someday I'll do a giveaway of new makeup, but until then, please do not ask. I'd appreciate it. Alright, if you would like and subscribe down below, really helps me out and I would appreciate it. Until next time guys, bye.